Now tonight at 5 on WHAS11 News, we're getting you ready. We now have the first snow and ice totals that are being predicted for Sunday into Monday. A widespread number that could actually see 6 inches of snow in Metro Louisville alone on top of some ice. We're going to be breaking down your detailed forecast as we get you ready for the Sunday winter storm, our first of this season. Early days here in 2025. It's our top story at 5 o'clock. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Inches of snow are expected to hit Kentuckiana this weekend, along with a mixture of ice and some sleet. So we want to get straight over to Sam Gabrielli with what we can expect this weekend. Hi, Sam.
Hey, guys. Any last-second travel that Kentuckians have to do, I would make sure you do it over the next 24 to 36 hours before we do notice the bands of snow inch in and times of freezing rain. This is going to be making for some very difficult travel as we get into the end of the weekend and early next week. Let's get started with the winter storm watch posted from the National Weather Service yesterday around this time, and it does begin Saturday night and stretches into the afternoon on Monday. We are not upgraded in a warning yet, but very soon, most likely by tomorrow morning, the National Weather Service will issue a winter storm warning for our neck of the woods. I want to give you a quick heads up that we're not the only ones with this impactful weather. Basically, anywhere from Kansas all the way east towards West Virginia, including all of Kentucky, needs to be on high alert for snow and ice to be making travel to be extremely difficult. Here's actually a look at what we're talking about with this storm. Up to a half foot of snow, not out of the question for Louisville and especially north of the Ohio River. Freezing rain is going to be making for extremely difficult travel as we are going to be noticing some major issues, especially with power outages. And the worst part about it, the most underrated part of the storm, is the frigid cold air on the back edge of it that's going to be making for some very impactful weather again as the storm passes through. Right now, the attention grabber with that low pressure well off to our northwest, several thousand miles still to the northwest of us. But with time, it's going to be moving into our neck of the woods. Maybe you're going to be heading out this evening, though. A quick look at our temperatures. We are in the low 30s and upper 20s. The wind chill already dipping down into the 20s. So this is the warm up, if you will, when it comes to the overall cold air and chances for winter to be making its return to our neck of the woods. Saturday will be as quiet as today and tomorrow, but keep in mind, this is that chance for the snow. Don't go anywhere. I'm talking more about the snowfall forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Also, we learned late today at the news conference with the mayor of Louisville tomorrow at 5:30. That's their big winter storm update. Here in Louisville today, though, they're working hard to determine how much ice we could actually see and what areas may be hardest hit.
Yeah, but they believe this is not going to be the ice storm of 2009, a storm that folks in Elizabethtown and beyond remember well.
Seems to be a lot of agreement that it won't be like 2009. Isaiah Kim Martinez shows us the preparations happening ahead of Sunday.
Well, Kentuckiana is bracing for potentially hazardous driving conditions come Monday. And NWS's John Gordon says we should all be crossing our fingers for more snow.
Do not go ice storm warning if all possible until it's happening Sunday.
Meteorologists at the National Weather Service's Louisville HQ are making minute-by-minute forecasts for a storm that could bring dangerous ice to Kentucky's roads and outages within its power grid.
We have our first big winter storm in a long time, and we have warm air riding up and over cold air. That's not good. Very bad.
John Gordon, the chief, and his team have been tracking this storm closely since about Christmas.
Get your salt melt now before it sells out. Scrapers, batteries, non-perishable food if you lose power.
He says this is not the ice storm of 2009.
A majority of our city was down for a long period of time.
But people still need to take this seriously.
Yeah, getting everything ready to roll.
Folks down south in Elizabethtown are.
This area is kind of sensitive to the ice storm since we've had this in the past, so when we hear ice, we take that very seriously.
Public works crews and their plow trucks are on standby to dump 80 tons of salt across all city roads as soon as the conditions are right.
I'll take 2 feet of snow over an inch of ice any day.
Robert Lukemeyer has lived in E-Town for 6 years. He tells me his family is prepared for the worst and hoping for the best.
Ice melter, candles if electricity goes out.
Meantime, Gordon is encouraging folks to do all their preparations by Saturday because come Sunday, you'll want to be inside. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
And Elizabethtown actually has a live city tracker showing which roads have been salted once crews get started. We'll have that link for you on our website, WHAS11.com.
The Metro Snow Team is going to be working around the clock to ensure its 110 routes they're responsible for are going to be safe for you to drive. You can see the map of the routes right now on your screen. The members will prioritize what they're calling the arterial roads, which run right through Metro Louisville and see most of the traffic. And those roads include Shelbyville Road, Brownsboro Road, and the Dixie Highway. We'll check in on this map throughout the storm to keep you updated. Now's the time to prepare your car for the weekend. The National Weather Service suggesting to keep a full tank of gas during the bad weather and make sure you have a car kit packed in case you happen to get stranded on the ice. Your kit should include jumper cables, a first aid kit, a phone charger, flashlight, and flares. It's also important to have extra food and water as well as a blanket or two should your car happen to break down. The National Weather Service also has some tips for you to winterize your car ahead of the storm. Have a professional double check your battery and that you've got enough antifreeze and oil to get you where you need to go. It's important to also make sure you've got good windshield wipers on your car when hitting the roads.
Well, meanwhile, doctors want your health to remain a priority ahead of this weekend's inclement weather. According to U of L Health, doctors often see specific cases enter their emergency room amid winter storms, and some of these you may expect, like frostbite and hypothermia. However, they also tend to encounter patients dealing with cardiac events, for example, shoveling snow.
Cold weather puts an additional workload on your body, and so simple things like shoveling your driveway may put an increased risk and increased workload on your body. So you got to take things seriously, such as shortness of breath or chest pain that you're experiencing. Those are very serious signs that we would want you to get checked out for at a cardiac center.
And the doctor also urges awareness when it comes to indoor temperatures, as both children and the elderly are more susceptible to hypothermia, even when inside.
As we told you last night at 11 here on the WHAS 11 night team, LG&E also believes that this storm will not compare to the ice storm of 2009. And that was the worst storm on record for the utility when it comes to the number of power outages. Across Kentucky that January, nearly 700,000 people and businesses lost power for several days, even weeks. It's truly one of the worst snow and ice storms Kentuckiana has seen, and since then has ranked in the top 5 of storms for the utility. People were stuck and without power for days, but it was also a big lesson for LG&E. They made big changes since then to prevent such widespread impact.
We've invested a lot in stronger poles, stronger wires, really hardened our system for storms. We, have plenty of crews on standby. We have 40 stations across the state where if the storm hits one part of the state, we can deploy our crews to another part of the state wherever the storm is the worst and where we need them the most.
That's Chris Whalen of LG&E speaking to us last night. She told me again today that our system, she says, is built to withstand up to a 1/4 inch of ice. However, the biggest issue is the tree limbs that break and fall into our lines. That's from Chris Whalen today. LG&E's website has a real-time power outage map for you where you can follow the outage time estimates to be repaired. We'll be following that once the storm also enters the region.
A lot of salt, snow shovels, gloves, heaters. We have everything.
Well, if you've yet to prepare your home, make sure you also do so before the end of the day or definitely in the morning. Bargain Supply Company in Phoenix Hill is one of several Kentuckiana hardware stores ready for what's to come. The store says even when the snow falls, it'll be open.
And ahead of the storm, now's a really good time, folks, to download the free WHAS 11 app. It will send you notifications right to your cell phone. You can also watch our live Max HD radar and watch all WHAS 11 newscasts live. Plus, it stays live during a power outage. Download the WHAS 11 app. And WHAS 11 News is ready for the start of the snow and the freezing rain on Sunday. We're going to have coverage online throughout the day, and I'll be here with Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine for a special hour-long newscast at 6 p.m. on Sunday on WHAS 11. Our team of reporters will be in Louisville, Elizabethtown, and Southern Indiana. It's weather impact coverage coming your way here on Sunday.
He may have access to another vehicle. We don't know where he may be, and hence the reason why we're kind of putting out the request from citizens throughout Southern Indiana to pay attention.
Manhunt is still underway in southern Indiana after an Orange County deputy was shot just after midnight. And as you just heard, Indiana State Police are asking nearby residents to stay alert because the suspect, Austin Shepard, is considered armed and dangerous.
Well, they're also telling anyone who spots him to call 911 immediately. Meantime, that deputy who was shot is at Louisville's University Hospital. Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter report from more details from the scene in West Baden.
Looming over the streets of West Baden is the search for a man Indiana State Police say shot a sheriff's deputy.
He is to be considered armed and dangerous by the public, and he is not to be approached.
ISP has identified 33-year-old Austin Shepard as the suspect who shot an Orange County sheriff's deputy right after midnight. His car was later found abandoned not far from the scene.
It was at the intersection of State Highway 56 and U.S. Highway 150 where the Indiana State Police say Shepard shot an Orange County sheriff's deputy. And right across the street, you can still see the police tape hanging on the trees.
ISP says the deputy pulled over to assist what they believed was a stranded vehicle.
It's just part of the routine of what we do on a daily basis. If anything, what this incident does, it shows you how in a blink of an eye it can become very deadly.
Just across from the scene is the thrift shop Taco's Treasures, where store owner Becky Froman's faith is strong.
Prayer for this shooting, all the victims from the New Albany Harvest Homecoming shooting.
On her prayer board is the deputy who was shot.
Right now it just says officer shooting because a name has not been released. Once a name has been released, then his name, that card will be replaced and his name will go up there.
Froman says after noticing the police tape Friday morning, she scoped out her shop and is taking precautions.
The building itself has a security alarm. Yes, I am a licensed carrier, so yes, I do carry my sidearm.
Although she feels protected, Froman is hoping this manhunt ends peacefully.
Your thoughts and prayers go out to the officers and the officers' family and everything, but you also got to remember that this man that they're chasing is also a human and needs our prayers as well, because yes, he did something absolutely horrific, but you know, he's still somebody's child.
As state police expand their search for Shepard, they are also hoping for a peaceful resolution.
If anybody knows him, please tell Mr. Shepard we want him to turn himself in. We don't want this to develop into a situation where any more people get hurt.
In Orange County, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
A vigil is being held about 6 o'clock tonight, and the WHAS11 night team is there in the area. We'll be covering that for you tonight at 11 o'clock. Indiana State Police also tell us that they did question a woman who was with Shepard. They have not released her identity or relation to this crime.
Metro Police are also investigating the cause behind a car crashing right into a vet clinic. As you see there, police say it happened around 9:45 this morning at Hopewell Animal Hospital. That's near Taylorsville Road and the Gene Snyder. Now, luckily, no injuries were reported.